Okay, says we are live. Hello, how are we? Hopefully we are doing good. Hopefully we have a fantabulous Friday today, and even more fun weekend. That would be nice, right? We are coming to the end of August. It'll be September next week. Next week, which is crazy. Feels like August has gone by real fast. And hopefully no other beloved celebrities are gonna pass away this week. But yeah, so Keiko is here and says hi. Hello, welcome. Monique is here and says happy Friday. Happy Friday. Not gonna lie, this week has been rough, including this morning. What happened this morning? If you don't mind me asking. But yeah, it feels like this week has been a long one, and I'm gonna have to go get some caffeine during our first sprint because along about somewhere in the 3:30 to 4:30 hour, the carbon monoxide detector battery in my dad's room gave up and started beeping because it was dying. So we're stumbling around trying to yoink it out of the wall without turning on the lights and waking up too much. And then after that, about an hour after that, my mom had a nightmare. Started yelling. So we didn't get a whole lot of sleep in the early morning. So that was the reason my morning was a little rough. But yeah, so I think I might have to go get myself like a little half glass of soda or something. Apparently cleaning your room today helped you relieve some stress. Oh, good. Yeah, I need to do that. So maybe that'll be a goal for this weekend, is to sort of clean and declutter some of my space. But I'm glad it helped put you in a better mood. Keiko is reloading the page twice, so the page updates, and then finally the stream starting. So you're still having that issue with YouTube. Gotcha. Okay. We still have the black around my name instead of the orange or yellow. Okay. So that's still there in the chat for me, at least. But yeah, I did receive one of my, well, I guess this is 2 of 3 packages. I'm still waiting on one more. I thought the other one was going to come sooner. The other one I thought was going to come from Chicago to Atlanta and like be here probably yesterday or today. Instead, it went from Chicago to LA and is now coming back east, maybe. So we'll have to see how long it actually takes. But I did get my Journal Fae box, which they've switched over to their fall theme, which is super cute. We got a little black kitty. So yeah, I got a lot of washi tapes, so it's a thicken. To thicken this time. But yeah, so I like the box. Sometimes if I order, I'm like, oh, I hope I get the new seasonal box. But I get the old one and I'm like, I've seen this one already. So yeah, that one's thick enough that I don't know. I'm fighting the urge to be like, that's a good box. And like, honestly, as a kid, we were looking for boxes to like build forts and like, that kind of stuff. So we wanted the big boxes. And then as I got older, I'm like, the small sturdy boxes are good for like keeping small things. I'm like, that's a good box. And now I'm just like, those are good boxes. Like I feel like I can't get rid of some of the boxes because they're like decent sized boxes that I could use for other things, even for decluttering things. You know, I'm like, this is a good box that I could like take out and like give to the thrift store as a donation. Like, you know, I'm terrible. I want to hoard everything apparently. But anyway, Kara says, I wish I was the kind of person who found cleaning relaxing. You're absolutely not. You were always scolded for not doing a proper job cleaning when you were growing up. So cleaning invokes stress. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. We cleaned, but it was always sort of like, here's like the spray you need. Here's a raggy washcloth or a scrubby thing. Here's how you do it. And then like, if you did it, great. And that's your chore. So if it keeps getting messy, you got to go do it again. But yeah, my parents never really came behind and were like, oh, this is a crappy job. So so cleaning was never like super stressful. I didn't love the fumes. And one time they did have to get on to me. They're like, no, this has ammonia. No, this has bleach. You can't, you cannot mix these two. Mustard gas. You know, that kind of thing. And Laura's about to clean your bathroom, so good luck. Good luck. Don't use ammonia and bleach at the same time. Don't do that. But also, hello. Monique says, believe me when I say I don't usually clean. You just felt the impulse. You wrote down a reminder. Sorry. In your Hobonichi Weeks planner last night and just decided to dust today. Nice. Nice. One of the things that like needs doing, but I really don't want to do it, is I need to like clean the baseboards because they're getting dusty. I'm like, the majority of them, like as I'm sweeping the house, like I can kind of sweep the baseboards and it looks fine. But there's some spaces in like the corners and stuff where I like need to scrub them, and I really don't want to. So if anybody's got a clue for like scrubbing the corners of the baseboard, let me know. Your mother would always say, clean your room. And then after you were done, she'd yell at you that she always had to do everything because you didn't do it right. Ooh, that sucks. You didn't do it right. The typos are rampant. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why ultimately I had to trim my nails, is because I was making typos all over the place. Your tip for cleaning and other chores, listen to music. Yeah. Toothbrush. Yeah, honestly, like it's like I'm gonna have to get down on my hands and knees and like scrub it. That's the problem, is I don't really want to get down on my hands and knees and scrub it. So I mean, I know they make some like telescoping arm scrubby things, but yeah. But yeah, toothbrush probably works in the corners best. So right now you're taking one of your writer friends' advice and you're thinking about the third act of your novel. Yeah. Because once you have the third act, you can kind of lead up to that and figure out where the points are that need to build to that. So yeah, there's a lot of people that actually build their stories from the end, from my understanding. Okay. She told you the key to writing the mysteries is to work backward. Yeah, because especially for mysteries, because you do need to know who done it. That shouldn't be a surprise to you. You need to know who done it, and you need to know That way you can leave foreshadowing and clues and that kind of thing, and decide where your red herrings are going to be, all that kind of good stuff. You can't get down on your hands and knees anymore. So yeah, so there are certain things you can't do. Yeah. Your son might be able to get paid by Medicaid for helping you with what they term light housekeeping. Nice. Laura has gotten your counter cleared. Time for the cleaner. Excellent. Good. And there's another one of those things that you wish you could do. You can't write your stories backwards. Your brain rebels against it. You always thought you were spontaneous when you were younger, and you're absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah. And my problem with a lot of stories is once I know how it ends, I'm no longer interested in it. And so writing a story backwards is challenging for me, to say the least. You already know who the culprit is. There's going to be a huge fight at the end. Nice. All the actors in the Phantom production fight the director and his vampire minions. He turned all the stage hands / behind the scene workers into vampires. Gotcha. Okay. We have a poll today that is in regards to sort of a phrase, but also a crop. So what crop would your main character think of when they hear the phrase, a field of blank? A field of clover, a field of wheat, a field of corn, a field of hay. If I had more options, I'd have a field of flowers or a field of beans or peanuts, field of cotton. Kind of depends on where the character is and sort of like the agriculture of the area of the setting. But sort of like, what would your main character think of first? Clover, wheat, corn, or hay? I went with some of the big ones plus a musical line, lyric line. So Kara says, I have that problem too with mysteries. You do know who done it when you start writing. So for you, it's more of a how catch 'em. Although for the audience, it's a who done it. Gotcha. And I think the Save the Cat is big on why done it rather than just who done it. So you kind of have to make sure the motive is all clear. All right, let's do this so I can get started. And so I can go get that cup of caffeine. All right, we need a cat. The part you need to figure out is the kidnapping. Who is doing the kidnapping? Is the big baddie doing the kidnapping themselves, or are they ordering some of the minions? They're doing the kidnapping at his behest. Columbo is the best How Catch 'Em series. Nice. I haven't seen all of Columbo, but I have seen episodes. Okay, we have Thursday's Kitty. Never underestimate. Let me take a sip of water and try that again, shall we? Apparently my tongue and brain want to take today off. So never underestimate the possum power of cuteness. So we have a gray cutie cat, Cutie Pie, sort of kind of playing with the ball, but mostly just lounging and telling you to fetch the ball for them. And then we have Bold Cat Wisdom. If you put your mind to it, you can lick anything. I mean, I suppose technically there might be some consequences, but yeah, technically, I think that is true. All right, and then we have number 68 for our card. It's the wombat. Be at home. And let's see if it'll, there we go. Yay. Okay, so the wombat. Be at home. Burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. The wombat reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment, through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity and settle in to a true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true with harmony in the universe. So there you go. Stacy says, with mysteries, you have to work backwards. Keiko's excited by the wombat. Laura just made a terrible discovery. We have paper towels, but no toilet paper. Ooh, that needs to be rectified. Put it on the list. Either you're going to have to make time to go to the store, or you're going to have to make time to do a delivery order. Or have somebody else in the house go get it. But yeah. Okay. Let's pull up the document that we may or may not get to. The wombat is cute. Yes. Yes, 'tis. All right. We've gotten, I think the closest I have to the wombat is either the capybara or, let's scroll the capybara down, shall we? Share screen. Make it big. Okay. All right, let's do this. So 1, save your document or pull it up. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. So here we go, 30 minutes of our capybara in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, how are we doing? I have, I'm working on my journal. I'm setting up my fall themed. So I've got this big, wide fall landscape with the birch or aspen trees. And then I've got this clear PET tape that one's from Notebook Therapy, as well as the little foxes. Those are also from Notebook Therapy. So I just essentially like pulled out all of my autumn washies. Haven't pulled out the stickers yet, but the washies are out. So we're doing okay, making progress. Okay, let me scroll back up. Monique pulled the Seven of Wands from your Buffy Tarot deck. Okay, so you're out of the evens at the moment because you had so many 2s and then 4, and so yeah, so you're out of the evens at the moment. Laura's going to be meeting an authortube friend in person. Ooh, that's exciting. I hope you all have a fantastic time. Monique says, my issue with the kidnapping is the pacing of it. Lena and Gabby get kidnapped in Act 3, held hostage by the vampires. Jane and Andy reveal the truth to the other actors, and then they prep to fight. Okay. And Becca says, hi. Hello. And Lowell, what if your character first thinks a field of grass? You think you're going to vote for Clover since it's the closest. I think you could do either Clover or hay, honestly, because I think hay can be a bunch of different grasses. Technically. But yeah. Maz forgot this was on. Oh no, did the fart startle you? Maz says to Laura, I too have run out of toilet paper and you've been resorting to tissue. You could go to the shop, but that involves people. It does. It does involve interacting with people, potentially. And that's sometimes unfortunate. Stacey says to Becca, my first thought was a field of dreams. Yeah, I also thought about, sticking something like a field of study in there, but, You also chose Clover because it was the closest to grass, which was your second thought. Gotcha. Now you want to watch the movie Field of Dreams? Yes. Becca says, lol, I do love the farting timers. We do. We do. We all share brain cells sometimes. And we all love it. Maz says, I'm not writing, but I am doing chores. That's okay. Get the chores out of the way, then you can have the whole weekend to yourself. Okay, cup of caffeine consumed. Stacey has never actually seen the movie. Ooh, put that on your to watch list. It's fun. It's a good time. You're brainstorming a fantasy and having so much fun. I love it. I love the brainstorming phase. It's so nice. And also, yeah, it's so good. It's one of your favorites. Yes. It looks pretty so far. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like this is just creative time while I'm thinking about other things as well. But I just feel like fall this season needed a welcome page. So that's what we're doing. Because I'm so anticipating fall getting here. Monique moved out of the living room so that you can work on your writing while cooking lunch for your mom. Nice. What's for lunch? Is it tasty? I hope so. My lunch was literally a bowl of cereal because I couldn't be bothered to fix anything. Oh well, it was a Life cereal, so maybe I get bonus points. I don't know. Monique chose Field of Wheat since your urban fantasy series takes place in Texas. Nice. And I was trying to think of like when wheat actually ripens, and I think it's earlier than I would imagine it to be. And I googled it, and sure enough, like July, at least sort of like in the Midwest, from what the internet said. So you just remember country songs mentioning wheat fields. Yeah. Well, and if you've ever seen a nearly ripe or ripe field of wheat moving in the wind, it's a fantastical sight. So running through a field of wheat is the naughtiest things one of our former PMs did. Which honestly doesn't sound too bad compared to some of our current leaders. Chores are never done, but we try. Exactly. I don't know how people with kids do it. I don't either. In fact, Bestie just sent me a text because she got her daughter. Did she get it? No, it might have been a gift from the godparents. I think it might have been a gift from the godparents. Anyway, got a ginormous dollhouse, like one of the Barbie style dollhouses, but it needs assembling. So the kid's birthday party was the 15th. And so Bestie has been slowly putting it together on her like work breaks and evenings and stuff. And I like last week I was like, does this come with like an estimated time to build? And she's like, nope, nothing like that on the box anywhere. So yeah. So in addition to laundry and all of that, you also have assembling the kids' toys, which is kind of crazy. The farting timers are not your favorite. The teapots are your favorite. Gotcha. Well, we're almost entering spooky season, so we will soon be adding the spooky timers back in, which will be, spooky teapot back in. Kara says, I hate it when I go out in public and the public is here. Right? Yeah. You're cooking salmon for Mom. I've got, we've got salmon burgers, and I've got tilapia fillets. That could be dinner. I've got like a roasted garlic and herb seasoning to like douse all over the douse. Douse is not, I don't know why. Douse feels like it requires liquid. Does that line up with anybody else's sort of like connotation of the words? Yes, douse is a verb that means to pour a liquid over something. That's why. So douse is not the right word for sprinkling or yeah, cover things. Drench again feels liquid. Like what's the right term for absolutely covering something in seasoning? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. We don't. We just live in perpetual mess. And Source, you are a parent. Yeah, and that feels normal as well because we always lived in some sort of. There was always something that was messy. Always. So. Drench was also, yeah. So I feel like dredge is when you're doing like a a back and forth batter situation, right? Is dredge? To lightly coat wet or moist foods in a dry ingredient. I mean, I guess it could be dredge. It doesn't feel right though. Blanket feels probably more appropriate, yeah. You can still see douse when using a solid like baking soda on a grease fire. So if there's a lot, then you think douse would still be an appropriate term. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's probably a proper cooking term for it though, for whatever it is that I'm thinking of. Mom's lunch has been cooked. Excellent. Also, I think there's like some sort of be like honey, lemon, and garlic like sauce recipe that I found recently that I could try on the salmon burgers or the tilapia. We'll try something. But I'm leaning towards fish now for dinner. I was thinking like some beef stew over noodles or something. But now I'm thinking fish would be good. Fish would be tasty. All right, let's do this. Let's do another sprint. Are we looking at proper terms? Rub? Maybe. Is it rub? Okay. Okay, rubbing, massaging a thick layer of dry spices or spice pastes into the surface. Crusting, applying a heavy coat of coarse spices, herbs, or peppercorn to form a crunchy exterior when cooked. Dredging is when you're passing the protein through a thick coating of seasoned flour, cornstarch, or spices to fully submerge it into whatever cooking oil. And then blackening is a specific Cajun technique where protein is dipped in melted butter, then heavily coated in a specific spice blend, and then cooked on a hot cast iron skillet. Okay. So I feel like it's somewhere between rubbing and crusting, maybe is what I was thinking of. Somewhere in the middle there. Coating. Yeah, coating would be good. You don't actually rub rubs on the meat. So I've seen people that actually do, but I think they're halfway doing it just for visuals. I think the only time I've actually rubbed a seasoning was when I was doing a pork loin roast, and I rubbed the sea salt on the top to get more of a crackle going on the fat cap. I think that's the only time I've actually like intentionally rubbed. Maybe I should do it more often. I don't know. All right, let's do a sprint. Let's do sprinty sprint. I did the capybara. Let's do the teapot. Don't forget to answer the poll, and don't forget to vote for what kind of field your main character would think of first. All right. 1, save a document. 2, make sure you take a sip of whatever it is you're hydrating with. Cheers. You've done it and it's gross and you don't want to do it again. Rubs should not be rubbed. Yeah, the texture of cold raw meat is not fantastic. 2 was sip, 3 is straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check, and 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. How are we doing? Did we have a decent sprint? Hopefully we did. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. That's going to be too tall. So I can pull it down one. And that might be. Okay. We shall see. I'm trying to figure out the layout for the calendar. I've pulled out like my mushroom stickers. I've pulled out a few like fall stair step stickers that I have left. I'm trying to decide if I want to use some of these. They're PET tape. They're so high gloss that they catch the light no matter what. Like maybe the backing is what's high gloss, and maybe I ought to just trust. I don't know. We'll see. And then I've also got some fun yellow sunflower or rose, or like vertical stickers. So essentially I'm just like making, I'm doing similar to what I did this month, in that I'm creating a sort of collage border is my intention. But the stickers this time are a good bit bigger. That's my only like concern, is that the stickers I have are like a lot bigger. So some of them, like these, feel a little bit smaller, so maybe they'll be a little bit more versatile. But then I've also got ones that are like this size that like maybe I could cut them, but I'm not sure they would look right. Anyway, we will see. We're just gonna play around and set things up, essentially. Function is primary, but I got to have a little bit of fun and decoration too. So, but I do have my welcome fall page like done, is what I would consider. So yeah, that's how we're doing. Scroll. Don't forget to do your self promo. Stay says, okay, oh, this is, yeah, in regards to the rub and getting the stuff. Yeah, the getting the meat stuck under your fingernails is no fun. I don't like that. I do not like that. There are people that wear gloves to handle raw meat, and I'm like, I understand that. Yeah. Kara has new book promos up on Reader's Roost, so check that out, as well as a new Substack post, so check those out. Stacy was excited to have the pretty timer. Monique was watching a video about pacing. Gotcha. One of the things you can do is books that you just could not put down, books that you sacrificed like nights of sleep for because you just could not let it go. Go back and look at those and sort of see on a micro level what they're doing. Because one of the things I noticed with one of the stories that I was reading, the amount of dialogue versus action versus description. they were very intentionally like quickly switching between them. So you never went super long without dialogue that moved the story along or that revealed character aspects. You never moved very much along the page before somebody took action. It was very deliberate in order to keep the story momentum. So make sure that you go back and take a look at the things that you just could not put down and see what about those, sort of try and analyze what about those made it so engaging in terms of pacing. That's my like best tip for pacing. Monique says, you're also creating YouTube playlist for songs / chapter titles in My Ex is a Vampire. Nice. Here's a playlist for that. Excellent. Maz has been wrestling paperwork, but feeling productive. Excellent. Good. You're watching the charging conference for the Tupac trial. Closing arguments are going to be on Monday. Gotcha. And also the Lindsay, what's her last name? The jury's deliberating, I think. So yeah, some of those trials are ongoing. Becca says you just got Kate's chapter during the sprint, so now you can read through that. It's so good. Or so you did read through it. It's so good. And now you're going to write your chapter. Yay. Oh boy. Exactly. You're going to continue working on the playlist. Making the playlist is fun. Excellent. Stacy also likes making playlists. You love the border for August so much. Yeah. I'm not done with my September border. Otherwise, I would show you. But it is lacking a lot at the moment. So we're gonna continue to work on it a little bit more. James Patterson comes to mind when, in terms of fast-paced stuff, he used short chapters. Gotcha. Okay, let's do another sprint, and maybe I'll have the calendar done by then. I sure hope so. It always takes way longer to do these. Nope, there we go. Than I think it should. Mostly because I'm deliberating and being picky about everything. If I had, planned this out ahead of time, it might not be so bad. But anyway, let's do this. So 1, save your document or pull up whatever you're going to work on next. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with. Take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, not gonna lie, that made me jump a little bit. We are closer to getting done. I am sort of kind of trying to figure out how I want the last bits of decoration to go, as well as whether or not I want a like next month thing. I tend to want it because I usually like have to write down a couple of things for the next month, and I don't usually go back to like my quote unquote future log because I use that more as like a birthday reminder situation rather than an actual birthday, or I mean rather than an actual future log. That's definitely not even, but oh well, it's there now on the page. Trying to decide which of the like orange and brown leaf stickers to use. I do like that one, and it's smaller, so maybe I can get away with that. Yeah, I think I can do that. Okay. Which means we're going to trim this a little bit. And hope it goes well. Okay. Hopefully that is, yep, that's a more appropriate size. Fantastic. Okay. How'd y'all do? Funky barely made it, but you made it, so congrats. That's all we needed was for you to make it. Stacey said you just got a picture of Carmen making brownies. It's so cute. Nice. That's one of the things that I didn't realize a lot of places did now was send pictures throughout the day to the parents, which I think is a really nice thing to do because one, it's letting you know sort of like what they're doing during the day, that they're safe, but also sort of like so when they get home from school and you're asking them like, how was your day? And they're sort of like, brain is not recalling things. You're like, well, how was the brownies? And they're like, oh, it was great, you know. Like, so then the conversation is a little bit more fun. Okay. This I keep. Okay, I need my glue runner. Where is it? Somewhere amidst all the craziness. Okay, I may have to find that later. The corner of the washi tape wants to keep coming up because I keep putting my hand over it. Anyway, we're mostly done. There's a couple of things that I want to add. So here's our current layout. So I've got fall leaves and foliage at the top, as well as like mushrooms over kind of a dark brown design. I've got reminders for tasks and appointments. I'm going to use this space down here for like next month for like, you know, things that are going to pop up for October that I need to write down. Because I keep having to remind myself, this is September's layout. I'm like, how does it get to be September already? Anyway. So yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm also sort of contemplating, I've got, I think, room for a vertical sticker. And I'm trying to sort of decide which to do. So maybe y'all can. So there's one with 2 flowers and one with 1 flower. So yeah, let's do this. So over here in this gap, here is the, nope, not that way, this way. 1 flower design. Oh gosh, y'all, I can't. My brain doesn't want to work. Mirror, there we go. So right there, and then I'd have a little smaller square for next month stuff. That's the one. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this storybook style rather than do it like that. Okay, so 1 flower or 2 flowers. If you have a preference, let me know. So 2 flowers versus 1 flower. Anyway, so I'm thinking there's just one more element that needs to go on there, plus the next month little section. So you're hopping over to MAT therapy, a meeting with Recovery Dharma. You'll keep this running in the background. Thank you. Thanks for the sprints. You got a lot done today and recorded a new video, which is excellent. And so there's also the link for Recovery Dharma in case you need it or want it. Becca has started your chapter and gotten about 200 words. Excellent. Maz has tidied and nothing looks different. Oh no. You need to figure out where things go. Yeah. It is finding a home for things and finding a home that you're going to remember where it is and is easily accessible and visible is a whole thing on its own. You love the stairs. Me too. I've only got, I think, 4 or 5 of them left. I've used some of them before last year, I think. Yeah, so I had 5. So slightly different designs. Now I've got 4. Also got the hiccups. Gorgeous. Thanks. I realized I had a lot more fall stuff than I thought I did. So you think you've got that staircase somewhere? They're probably based on some real images. So two flower, you think? Okay. Thanks. It's hard to organize when you don't know where you want things or what you've got. Exactly. Agreed. Okay. I'm going to, now that I have all this stuff out, I'm going to continue working on this afternoon and just want to get most of this done, get all my weeklies set up and everything. And hopefully get rid of these hiccups. Anyway. All right, so we do have a winner for the poll. What crop does your main character think of when they hear the phrase a field of? 45% of main characters think of clover or grasses. 33% think of wheat, and 11% are tied for corn or hay. I do tend to get them pretty often, and it's been a little bit since I've had a real bout of them. So I was due. Plus I had carbonated soda type stuff. Sprite is guaranteed to get it to me. So I just know that if I'm going to be drinking Sprite, I will get the hiccups. The others are kind of like hit or miss as to whether I'll get the hiccups. But today, apparently, I got them. Funky's proofreading again. Oh, on a Friday? That sucks. Yeah, when they go on for a really long time, they're very painful. Yeah. Funky is wishing everybody a great weekend. I hope the same. Sprite is supposed to be good for hangovers. Sprite and sort of like the ginger ale type stuff is supposed to be good for a lot of things. So your friend swears by it for hangovers. But he doesn't really like Sprite either. I like it. I just know that I'm guaranteed to get hiccups if I have it. So, all right. Have a good weekend, y'all. I'm going to try and get rid of these hiccups and finish my September setup. All right. Pedialyte spelling is also really good for hangovers. I have heard this, yes. But I think it's mainly like the electrolytes and hydration. I don't know. All right, y'all. Don't forget to save, and I will hopefully see y'all on Monday. All right. Bye.